Hi and welcome back to my channel. So it has been a minute since I've done some filming, non-vlog style, and I realized I should probably start preparing ahead of time because I go back to school this week and yeah, I'm not ready, but I figured let's get some pre-filming done because it is going to be a busy next couple of weeks with staff development and students coming back. So today I wanted to talk about some of the new releases coming out in September. So I have 6 different books I want to talk about. Not as long of a list as I've had in the past, but September kind of seems like it might be a slower month for releases, but I know there are a ton of other things coming out later in the fall too. So to get started, I have 2 books actually that are coming out on September 6th. The first one is The American Roommate Experiment, and this is by Elena Armas. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between my computer here. She actually wrote The Spanish Love Deception, which I don't know, I've got somewhere over here, and was one that I actually really enjoyed. It was kind of like a fake dating trope. She basically rents a boyfriend to go to, I believe it's either her sister or her cousin's wedding in Europe. And this looks to be a sequel to that because on Goodreads it's calling it number 2. It says Rosie Graham has a problem, a few actually. She just quit her well-paid job to focus on her secret career as a romance writer. She hasn't told her family and now has a terrible writer's block. Then the ceiling of her New York apartment literally crumbles on her. Luckily, she has her best friend Lena's spare key while she's out of town. But Rosie doesn't know that Lena already has lent her apartment to her cousin Lucas, who Rosie has been stalking, for lack of a better word, on Instagram for the last few months. Lucas seems intent on coming to her rescue like a Spanish knight in shining armor, only this one strolls around the place in a towel, has a distracting grin, and an irresistible accent. Oh, and he cooks. So I'm sure it'll be cute and fun. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first one, which is a surprise because I'm typically a little bit harder on romances. So I'm looking forward to that one coming out. Next up, also on September 6th, is Killers of a Certain Age. And let me just... I'm going to forget who it was actually by, but I know I just entered a Goodreads giveaway on this one, which is how I found out about it. It's by Deanna Raybourn. And it's the tagline is, older women often feel invisible, but sometimes that's their secret weapon. I was like, okay. And it's kind of been the thing that I'm interested in doing on Goodreads now. So it says they've spent their lives as the deadliest assassins in a clandestine international organization, but now that they're 60 years old, 4 women friends can't just retire. It's kill or be killed in this action-packed thriller. Sounded great. I love an action-packed thriller, and kind of a different, take on it. So September 6th, we'll see how that one is. The next one that I kept kind of seeing come up as I was looking for books that were coming out in September, because like I said, there isn't as many that I'm interested in per se that I've seen that are coming out. But this one is called I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers, and I believe this one is YA. And it says it's the new groundbreaking queer thriller from the New York Times bestselling and Edgar Award-winning author Courtney Summers. It says when 16-year-old Georgia Avis discovers the dead body of 13-year-old Ashley James, she teams up with Ashley's older sister, Nora, to find and bring the killer to justice before he strikes again. So I don't want to read too much more because I don't want to know too much more, especially when it comes to thrillers, but it sounded pretty interesting. I like YA because I work with that age of students, and it's fun to have like a book that we can either talk about or that I can suggest to them, even though I work in technology, but I still love talking about books. So I kept seeing that one pop up, and thrillers, I'm all about thrillers, so. The next one coming out, which I actually had the date wrong, but I looked it up. It's coming out on September 20th, and that is Nicholas Sparks' new book, Dreamland. Now, I have actually gotten a chance to already read this one. I was fortunate enough to get the ARC, or Advanced Reader copy, from NetGalley, and I had super, super high hopes for this one because I loved his last release, The Wish. I think that kind of took him out of his typical storyline that he's been doing, and so I had really high hopes for this one. And for me, it fell short. I don't want to give too much away. You kind of get two different storylines. And of course now I can't think of the main character's name, because why would I? Let me just pull that up here. It is Colby. I knew it was something different. So you are getting his perspective. He's on vacation in Florida. He is like a part-time musician, but mainly a farmer. And he meets a girl named Morgan. And so things kind of ensue from there. And that was the storyline that, it's just too relevant. Like, she's a TikTok star. I don't know. I'm probably being a little harsh, and it has definitely made me do some reflecting on whether or not I truly love Nicholas Sparks, because I used to, or did I love him when I was younger, and now that I'm kind of a little bit more cynical when it comes to romance, is it just not sitting with me, or was this one just truly too like relevant for me? So, but there is another storyline with a woman named Beverly, and she is running away from her abusive husband, and she takes her son with her, and she's a little crazy, but it's really interesting to like kind of see her thought process and how she's trying to escape, and the things that she does and where they kind of settle. And I was waiting and kind of waiting for that moment that we were going to get when the storylines connected. So I don't want to give too much else away. It wasn't a bad story per se. It's just not one that I ever foresee myself picking up again. And to me, a little bit more of a disappointment compared to The Wish, which I will recommend The Wish to anyone because it was so good. Anyway, moving on from there, I have two more to talk about, and they both come out on September 27th. The first one is The Winners by Fredrik Backman. And now, anybody that has heard me talk about Fredrik Backman before, I don't know if I've actually talked about him on my YouTube channel or not. I am not actually a huge fan of the Beartown series, and this is the third one in the Beartown stories. I enjoyed Beartown. I thought the ending had a really good twist. And I read the second one. It wasn't that it was bad, so I guess I'm not sure if I just don't vibe with Fredrik Backman's writing or not. So I have this one on my list because I know it's going to be really, really popular for a lot of people, because a lot of people like Fredrik Backman's writing and really have loved the Beartown series. I just haven't decided if I'm going to pick it up or not. But it says, actually, you know what? I don't even want to spoil it, because if you are going to read The Winners, which is this one, you're going to want to read Beartown. And let me remind myself, what are the other two in this one? Oh, Us Against You is the second one. So I don't want to give too much away, but it's Hockey Town, a lot of different things going on. People are picking sides because of a possible assault that happened. So it's a very small town, kind of tumultuous relationship sort of thing. So I don't want to even give away the third thing, because I'm just afraid that it would probably give away something else. So September 27th, we'll see if I pick that one up or not. The other one coming out on September 27th was Well, That Was Unexpected. And I'm going to pronounce this author's name wrong. Let me pull this up here. Jesse Q. Sutanto, I believe. And this one is actually YA. I have it as a NetGalley arc, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm hoping to get to it before the end of August here, or possibly the beginning of September, so that I have it read by the 27th. She, was actually the author of the Dial A for Aunties series, which I loved and are hilarious on audiobook. And I think there's two in that series, and I can't remember if there's going to be any more. But those are hilarious. So when I saw this one on NetGalley, I was like, oh, I really, really want to request that one because I enjoyed those so much. But this one, like I said, I believe is YA. Oh, it is. So it says an outrageous, laugh out loud YA rom-com about a girl whose whisk from LA to her mother's native Indonesia to get back to her roots, and finds herself fake dating the son of one of the wealthiest families there. So I thought that sounded really interesting. I love that this is a different perspective that I don't normally get. I haven't read a lot by like Asian-based authors, so I think this is a great perspective to have, and the fact that she's kind of jumping into YA sounded really interesting to me. So I cannot wait to pick that one up. And like I said, it comes out on September 27th. So those 6 books are the ones that have interested me the most that are coming out in September. I'll have them all listed below. Do you know of any other books coming out in September that I should check out? Let me know in the comments. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.